What is up, guys? It's Fat Dave here with another episode of Space Stallions. Remember to like and subscribe.
The way your voice breaks.
Now that's an intro. Anyway, welcome to the podcast.
Should get you to do that every week.
Yeah.
If that intro didn't make you immediately close the video, thanks. So today's topic, I thought I'd go with something a little bit more casual.
Hold on, Dave. Hold on. So
okay.
We the Space Stallions, playing Rocket League and chatting shit. Play competitive 3v3. All right. And now it's up to you.
Okay, so today I think I wanted to go somewhere a bit more casual and laid back, so I thought we could talk about video games as a topic. I know we did an anime episode, that's quite fun, so I was going to do video games. So yeah, I might as well just kick it off and start, because I think there was some discussion about retro games. A couple of you have got, or you both have got a little retro console thingies, so I was going to say wanted to discuss what childhood defining games were there, specifically which games do you remember playing, and don't know, best memories of gaming when you were young. I'd say.
Oof.
So I'll let one of you start, and then I can add some.
Man,
I think we played different consoles.
I think I've never mentioned this one to you guys before, so it might be new to you. That I was obsessed with this game. I actually can't remember the exact name, but it was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game on the PC. It was like a beat 'em up game where you could play local multiplayer on one keyboard and play with your friends, and each picks a turtle, and you just basically just destroy some henchmen and bosses and stuff. It's like a classic beat 'em up game. But I remember me and my friends being absolutely obsessed with that game and going to internet cafes during school break, like lunch break in school, to play this game. And it's probably the most fun I remember having playing any game. Maybe that and Guilty Gear, the fighting game. They came out around the same time, and it was that internet cafe era in my country where everybody was playing socially in the internet cafe, because none of us had computers. So
it was actually
huge.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? It wasn't okay,
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Battletoads.
No. It was like a licensed game by Konami, I think. I can't remember. If I knew you would ask, I would have looked it up, Dave. But oh shit! Oh fuck!
That's bad.
That's so bad. Oh my god!
For people that aren't watching, somebody just scored a crazy own goal.
Who shall not be named. In my defense, somebody yeeted me from the back. Yeah, nice bump. So those two games were huge, for me growing up, in terms of how much enjoyment I got out of them.
Yeah, it's because we didn't really have Street Fighter, but we did have Guilty Gear for a little bit.
Nice. It's much better in my opinion. Street Fighter is I like it, especially Street Fighter 5 and Street Fighter 3, I think. Alpha, Omega, something like Super Alpha, Blast.
Alpha male.
Yeah. And but what I loved about Guilty Gear was the animation, because it was so well animated, like 2D, like hand animated effects, and just very fluid in the way that you fight your opponents and do your combos, and just super fast, and very had a lot of broken English in it, which was fun. I think to this day the opening I can't remember if it was the opening of each round or like finishing the round, there was some like Japanese English thing that they were saying. I remember the opening was like heaven or hell, duel 1, fight, and then at the end it was like when you knocked somebody out, it wasn't like I forgot what they were saying.
Like KO.
No. There was some. Anyway, there was some like really, really Japanese sounding things in English, obviously. And for example, the name of one of the main guys is Soul Bad Guy, like classic.
Yeah.
Classic like 90s Japanese anime or manga like American guy name.
Yeah, it's like the Pokemon games all have like like smart guy Rob.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
But like the graphics thing is an interesting one because you both know that I've recently got an emulated handheld device, but yeah, and it has some pretty cool PS1 ROMs on it, and the graphics on the visuals on them are really nice in comparison to some of the stuff even today. It's so clean and crisp, and it's all hand drawn, and it's not like dodgy 3D made to look 2D or something. It's just I was playing Hercules just to test it out, and also
the Disney one.
The Disney one.
Oh, that was a great game.
Yeah, it was excellent. And the Street Fighter games on there, they're just loads of great, well drawn games on much older devices that you don't tend to get so much today. They reminded me of if you've played the latest Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
No, I haven't.
Oh yeah, it's like hand drawn.
That's pretty good.
The visuals are excellent on it, but these games reminded me of that.
You know what it is? It's also the screen makes a huge difference. Somebody opened my eyes recently about this, but games back in the day, if you play them on present day screens, they don't look the same.
The resolution, because they're not designed for that high resolution display.
And also, like the colors and shit, they were designed for old TVs, right? TVs that you would use at home. Like those old cabinet TVs or whatever. So some guy, I think, made a YouTube video to show this off, but if you actually play it on like how it's supposed to be played, it looks really, really good. Like if you have the console and you had the TV from that time, it looks really, really good what's achievable. So I think those emulators might actually be calibrating for that. Making sure it looks...
I think they have have like visual filters and things like that for like to make it look like CRT or something like that.
Yeah, could be.
The better ones do anyway.
Yeah, and also the older devices like some Game Boy games, they would make the contrast really high so that because to compensate for the screen that you were watching it on.
Yeah,
so then when you actually emulate it, it's ridiculously bright, so you have to tone it down in some cases. But on the topic of favorite games, depends what era, I think, because I had quite a few consoles. I had Sega, Genesis,
show off.
PS1, Game Boy.
The original favorites, like your first experience with gaming, like favorite games then.
Which game popped your cherry?
Well, first experience with gaming was the Sega Genesis.
Wow.
So I had Spider-Man.
Wow.
I don't remember what game it was. Spider-Man something, and you played against Venom. And that was pretty cool.
That sounds awesome.
And also, we had Lion King, we had Pink Panther, and I think they were all on Sega Genesis, but it was around that time anyway. To this day, I recently, even like over the last couple of days, have tried emulating some of those games from back then, and they still hold up. Like they're still fun to play.
Yeah.
As a 28-year-old.
Yeah.
That's got an Xbox Series S. So.
Yeah, man. Those they sound like PlayStation 1 games, to be honest, because I remember playing those games on my friend's PlayStation. Maybe the Sega Genesis had them. I'm not sure, but I just remember like when you were listing them, I was like, "Hey, hold up! I played these, like that Spider-Man game that you mentioned, and where he fights Venom, and it's like a really like comical Venom, right? He's not like he like cracks jokes and shit. It's more like the
probably, yeah.
I think it's
they probably were.
Yeah, the 90s TV show licensed game. That's probably what it was. Where your webs go, like they attach to just pure air above you.
I don't remember too many details about it. I just those are my earliest memories.
Yeah.
Gaming, and then when it was PS1, like Hercules, Abe's Odyssey.
Yeah.
Have you played Abe's Odyssey?
I don't think so.
Man, it's the creepiest.
I've heard of it. I know what it is.
PS1 game. It's one of the creepiest games I think I've ever played. The premise is, or at least the start of the game, you're working for some dystopian alien farming factory.
Oh my god! I keep missing the fucking ball. Yeah, sorry.
That turns different aliens into different foods or different snacks, and then you just find out that they're gonna make the next product that they're gonna make is your species, and then you have to like escape. It's really really creepy for like a child to play.
Yeah, there was a lot less filtering of stuff back in the day. I missed out a big player in those days when I was first starting playing computer games. Grand Theft Auto 3 was absolutely groundbreaking for us, because we're like these little shits that, you know, were just getting into gaming, and that was sort of the first game that blew my mind. And there was no filter. You could like kill pedestrians, get prostitutes, just have do you remember having to learn cheat codes by word of mouth?
Yes.
And writing them down.
Yeah.
And
or
collecting
read them
them
in a magazine or something, and cut out the page and keep them.
Like that was wild. That was probably, so when I first got my computer, which I think was when I was 9, and started playing games, that was the first game that I got from a friend of mine. It was an absolutely wild ride. I think I must have spent legit like months in that world when I was a kid, because there was nothing else. It was like Grand Theft Auto and then going to the internet cafes to play the other games,
Counter-Strike and stuff.
Yeah, for me, I was shit at Counter-Strike, so I played Warcraft. I mean, like the initial games, like Warcraft 3.
Yeah.
Finally I hit the ball. I'm using a new car, so the bounding box is a bit unfamiliar.
Yeah.
But it's got
that big fat square one.
Yeah. It's got a cool decal, so that's why I have to use it.
Yeah, I think that's the main reason you should use a car in this game.
Yeah.
The decals.
Yeah. Here we go.
What about you, Dave?
Yeah, well, I'll say my first experience with gaming was actually playing, I think, Lego Island on a friend's computer.
Wow.
And I think it ran at maybe 1 frame a second, approximately. So you imagine that, it's like watching a slideshow.
Yeah.
And I was like, how are you supposed to know where you're going? He's like, well, you're supposed to just anticipate it, like work out, like, see, there's a tunnel there, so I'm going to work out that in this amount of time I have to turn. Like, okay, wow, gaming seems like shit.
Wow.
And then later on, eventually, my first console was actually a Nintendo 64, so it was actually probably later on than, that's after Super Nintendo and everything. Nintendo 64.
The 3D one.
Lego Racers. Yeah, Lego Racers and Pokemon
game.
Stadium. That was really cool, and you could make your own car in it as well.
Yeah, that was
really
awesome.
Fun. I spent ages doing that.
Yeah, same.
Making cars and different bodies and things. That was really fun. So that was like my first experience gaming. And then, because I had Pokemon Stadium, I realised, I want the Game Boy game as well. So I actually got a Game Boy after that, and Pokemon Yellow. And that was probably the first game I properly really enjoyed, like Pokemon Yellow. That was like, spent hours on that, like catching Pokemon and raising them and, going across different towns and stuff. So that was like the first really good game, but that's pretty like universally known. And mostly since then I was pretty much like a Nintendo fanboy. I just played Nintendo games and that was pretty much it. I didn't have a PlayStation or Dreamcast or Xbox or anything for ages. So it was like Mario, Super Mario Brothers, Banjo-Kazooie was good. So nothing, probably nothing you played because it's all PC games.
Right.
Although
I remember playing Super Mario, but I think it was on a counterfeit N64 from like a dodgy part of town that my dad had got, and it had one or two cassettes that had like 600 games in them each.
I know those things.
Yeah, and one of them was one of the first Super Mario games. I think the first one where you could do 2 players, like the very old ones. I love playing that. So yeah, I guess that's my first experience with gaming because I was much younger. But it wasn't that. It was nice. It was a memorable experience, but he juked you.
Bad.
But I think the most I wasn't a gamer right at that time. I was just playing with my dad, and I think pretty much only when I was allowed, which was usually when my dad wanted to play. And the same way with television, if I wanted to watch like Cartoon Network and shit, had to convince him to watch with me. But yeah, I think it was only when we got internet cafes and PCs that we started properly gaming.
All right. Yeah, I never had internet cafes. It was always gaming for me until I got a laptop. It was like a solitary experience, mostly. Apart from playing with friends sometimes.
Well, that's why I enjoy it so much now, because for me, it started off as like things you do with your friends, and you play those games because your friends play those games.
It's funny that like the brewski's open.
Brewski's out. Jeez.
That can be one of the thumbnails. Clip. Yeah, it's funny that because in Cyprus we also had internet cafes. We still have internet cafes actually, and that was one of not my earliest, but the first time I'd ever seen that type of social gaming environment. Because up until that point, I'd only seen if you could somehow get a PS2, another controller for a PS2, and then if you wanted more than that, you'd have to have like this dodgy third-party thing that never worked. And so, the internet gaming, the internet cafe had Counter-Strike, and that's the only game that the Cypriots played when I was there.
It's very
just
popular.
Counter-Strike.
That's really.
But it's funny that
Counter-Strike
in the UK they don't.
Speaks a lot about
in the UK they don't really have that.
It's not PC in the UK, I
think it wasn't
guess.
popular enough. Yeah. I think people just played their own consoles and stuff in the UK because it was readily available, consoles and everything you could want. So people didn't bother going to internet cafes or anything.
Probably because the emulation isn't actually legal with these types of games. So
true, yeah.
And in Europe, they care less about these types of, or at least when I was a kid, cared less about these types of.
We used to not give a shit about it. But I also want to mention that it's because people in the UK could actually afford these things. One of the main reasons we went to internet cafes because none of us could afford having those games and having computers. So the only way to play was to go to an internet cafe with your friends. So you couldn't ask your mom or your dad to buy you a PlayStation. It just never happened. You wouldn't even think to ask that because it's like so out of the it's out of the realm of possibility. And you would get like people that have a PlayStation actually opening like a semi-legal internet cafe, well, gaming cafe, I guess. So we had these two old, it was an old couple, and I presume they bought a bunch of PlayStations for their, I don't know, grandkids. And they just put them in a garage, like 2 or 3 PlayStations, and had a bunch of controllers. And it was just like an open garage with those consoles there, and you would just go in with your friends and pay like some... it was very cheap. You could pay like 25p or something and play on them for a while.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and
cool.
The grandma also did sandwiches. So while you're playing, you could order a sandwich and she would go in the actual kitchen of the house, make your sandwich and come back. Man.
Here's your second home, kids.
This is
solid business model there.
It's very solid. It was so popular. But it was obviously not a proper business, you know. It was just some people making money on the side.
Not sustainable, but good for a bit.
Well, this is what they do in the cafes in Asia, like where you can go and play some games on a computer and then order some ramen or whatever too.
Well, you can sleep in the people.
Sleep, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Just sit there, play games like League of Legends or whatever all day, and then order some food and never need to go outside even. I'm sure some people don't.
Yeah. It's cheaper than renting a hotel. So people just sleep there.
Oh,
wow,
nice.
what a goal.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I think my first experience with multiplayer was when I got Team Fortress 2 on my laptop. So you know that like it's like Counter-Strike, same engine, but kind of you've got classes and sort of cartoony characters.
Yeah.
And like the sort of the community surrounding that as well, I kind of got involved with, like, you know, people, you can customize your character and you can do custom sprays and put them on the walls and things like that. And then people make funny videos of Team Fortress. So that's the first time I felt like involved in a game community.
Right.
And like actually like watching videos, and then there's voice lines you can say in the game and you can like spam them and troll people. And then there are servers where people are being friendly and they don't kill each other. So you're just like hanging out with the enemy team and just like pissing about and taunting and things like that. And that was like a new sort of social experience.
Basically bullying people.
Yeah, just trolling. That was fun. And there was no like battle pass, no like leveling up rewards or anything like that. You just played because it was fun. You're not playing because you want to earn the super ultra rare, you know, skin at level 100. Like with
it
Fortnite
wasn't so
and things. You just
like money focused.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
That's the thing. And yeah, even with like old Halo games and stuff like that, I think there were rewards and things for leveling up, but mainly you just played because it was fun. But now you've got the battle pass and events and things like that, and you play for the rewards mostly, not because it's actually enjoyable.
That's why games
have
gone downhill, like when it comes to storyline. Yeah. Now they look great, but the stories aren't that great. Whereas back in the day, they looked terrible, but the stories like could last them a lifetime.
That was actually one of the things that I wanted to discuss is why games now, like there's so much controversy around how the game actually plays, like what we just discussed, like with skins and battle passes and loot crates and stuff like that. It's I think it's because gaming became such a big thing so fast, and the corporates stepped in real quick to like monetize the shit out of them, and
the product teams of the world.
Yeah, exactly. I highly doubt that actual game developers would think like, what can we how can what DLC can we make that we can sell later on, or like what kind of weird like leveling up system that's paid to win we can think of, or stuff like that. It's such a evil corporate thinking to even come up with this shit.
And it all started with horse armor in Oblivion. That was like the first cosmetic DLC content.
Was it?
Pretty much. Yeah, before there was DLC, but it was like expansions to the game, like a new area, new story or something. Whereas they said, oh, let's just do some horse armor and charge it, a couple of pounds for it. And then that was the beginning. Now, everything, you can get little boosts and items and stuff by paying for them.
Yeah. But I guess that's the only way to get games to look as good as they do now, where Unreal Engine 5 is almost undistinguishable from reality at some points.
That's true. That's also a problem though, right? Like, because back in the day, at least some developers could get together and create a passion project, and then it could have a relatively large audience, like Pac-Man, for example. Could have a relatively large audience for being such a simple game. And you wouldn't. And now I think the requirements are much higher for what people expect from even a like basic game. Has to look a certain way or run a certain way.
Yeah, and
so
people
it's
criticize
much
a
harder
lot
to do
more.
that. Yeah, as a passion project.
Yeah, but I'd say that only goes for AAA games. Like indie games still have that same creativity when you look at what's available now.
What indie games do you play?
Well, I played Ori and the Blind Forest. That was
Ori
really
by Microsoft.
That's kind of mainstream though.
I guess, but it's still indie, like a small company. And that Outer Wilds game that I've been playing, space exploration, that's a Unity like game by a small team.
Dave, Ori, isn't it owned by Microsoft?
Yep.
It is now, but originally it was just a small team.
Yeah, the first one. The second one is a Microsoft game.
Yeah. But I haven't played the second one. I mean the first one.
Have you guys played, I don't know if it's pronounced like this, but it's called Gris, Gris.
Oh, I've heard of it.
It's a side-scrolling 2D animated indie game. It is probably one of my favorite games. Same with Journey, actually, which was independent, but for a PlayStation exclusive. The one thing that I would mention is that this, like, on one hand you have the EA games, Ubisoft really like milking their users for money. But on the other hand you have Unity and Unreal that are making their software essentially free. Oh, what a goal. Essentially free for everybody to use, so it's actually easier to make games for everyone. And those studios can now have 2 or 3 people. Like, wasn't the Hollow Knight game, wasn't it just 3 people? Like, one guy doing the art, one guy doing the programming, one guy doing the music?
That's a
really solid game. Yeah, that's a solid game.
That's impressive.
And all of that is possible because of those big bads that have been pushing technology to improve a lot.
Yeah, but with Unity Engine, it's so accessible.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the difference is, but still.
With these games, I assume you played both of them, Ori and Hollow Knight on the Switch, right?
Me? I play on PC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, because there's still that barrier to entry, like for a lot of the audience. Like, you have to buy the Switch first, and then whereas back in the day, like, you could get some bootleg.
Well, Hollow Knight's on pretty much everything. You could play it on a potato PC, probably.
yeah, you could.
Yeah, but would you is the question? Just because it's on it, like.
It's pretty forgiving, but also I don't like. Fair point, but I wouldn't knock the Switch just because it's probably the most influential gaming device ever, because it's still the top selling gaming device, and it's launched projects like the Valve Steam Deck, which I think is gonna revolutionize, like, never mind gaming, just computing in general and what people consider to be their computers. Xbox is kind of doing that because you have a lot of freedom on the Xbox, much more than you have on the PlayStation, like with the Edge browser and stuff. Like you can emulate games on it if you have like a dev account and stuff. But the Steam Deck being an actual PC that runs an actual operating system that is in the form factor of the Switch, like it's absolutely really insane. Cool. It's absolutely insane, and for that price tag as well, they're absolutely gonna kill it. I think it's gonna be such a huge ripple effect across the industry, and just it's gonna make a whole lot more gamers.
So with the Steam Deck, because I've seen it, and for me personally, if I have a Switch already and I have an Xbox, like, what is there a use case for me to get that as well?
Oh yes, let me tell you why. Because games on Steam cost 30% of what they would cost on the Nintendo Switch and on console when they're on sale, and because you can actually use the Steam Deck as a PC, not just a gaming device, like a portable PC. If you're going somewhere, you don't need to bring your laptop if you need to do some work or something and game at the same time. And the added benefit is that if you have any Steam games whatsoever, I don't know if you use Steam, but if you have any games, your console literally comes with those games. Like you spend zero extra money to start playing games on the Steam Deck.
That's true, yeah. That's what I remember when the Xbox, like, they announced the Series X, and they said it runs Windows 10 or a modified version of it. Yeah. People were speculating that you might be able to install Steam on it, play your Steam games, which of course you can't, but that would have been cool.
Yeah, you can already do quite a lot on the Xbox though. Like what I do is I have NVIDIA GeForce Now, which is the online gaming thing. I'm actually recording this on NVIDIA GeForce Now, and I would open up my Xbox's Edge browser and just go to that and play PC games on it. Or if I need to watch some something that doesn't have an app, so not YouTube and not Netflix, I can go to the Edge browser, use my keyboard and mouse as I would on my PC, and just surf the web and use like Google Docs and use all that shit. It's literally a PC if you like don't look too much into it. If you only work with web stuff or you only use web stuff, it's basically a PC.
The Steam Deck is a very cool idea, and I think it's just because I don't have a Steam library filled up with games that I'm not playing. Because right now any game that I want to play, I either buy it on the Switch, which I rarely ever do now, or have to get the Game Pass £10 a month or something on the Xbox. So having that discount on Steam Deck would be a pretty cool one. And having it control because also I'm stuck with a mouse and keyboard, so normal analog sticks and buttons is perfect for me.
And also you could use Game Pass on the Steam Deck if you install Windows on it, so you can play either cloud gaming or just the PC games that they have on it. It's just wild, like how much. I honestly didn't think that would happen this soon, and I honestly think it's good guy Nintendo striking with the Nintendo Switch. If the Switch hadn't come out, the Steam Deck wouldn't be here now.
Yeah, true. They had to prove that it was a viable idea to have a handheld console, because most companies that have tried handhelds, apart from Nintendo, has never been that much of a success. Like PSP, well, PSP was okay, then PS Vita was failure, even though it was quite a good console technically. Just people didn't get it.
I would have killed to
they
have
already had DSs and didn't bother. Yeah.
I think it was just hard to develop games for it. I think there was definitely a market for it. But just difficult to develop games for it.
Yeah, it can play what you already have, so that's the big advantage. So I'd have a reason to get one because I've got games on Steam, so
I have a huge library.
I can play them.
You can imagine like how locked. I've never developed a game, obviously, but you can imagine how locked down those systems are, like PlayStation or Xbox. To be able to develop a game for them, and Switch, you'd need to hit so many certain criteria.
Yeah, whereas for PC, it's like piss easy to develop a game. Well, by comparison, and publish it on Steam, it's insanely easy. That's why you have so many. Like Steam is basically the haven for indie developers. That's where all the indie games start.
Games on it.
Yeah, true, but you can.
There's a lot of shovelware too.
Yeah, but you got a pretty robust
indie games.
Yeah, pretty robust review system, or with a lot of users reviewing. I've never been surprised. If I downloaded a shitty ass game, it's because I wanted to play it and I knew it was a shitty ass game. It was never like, oh, I thought this would be great, and then I downloaded it and it's ass. Whereas
for the memes.
On Switch, it's happened to me so many times. You know that game. First of all, Bandai Namco, that whole the company makes ass games. You guys should really step up your game because it's all of the games suck. But you remember I hate that company now. It's just so lazy. They always do the same game with the same engine and the same characters. Anyway,
like FIFA.
Yeah. Yes, but at least FIFA is engaging. Like most of their games are just pure ass. Anyway, they used to be cool, not anymore. They have had this game called something Force.
Jump Force.
Jump Force, that's right.
Yeah.
Where you can play as those Shonen Jump characters from your childhood. Yeah. Like you could play as like Yu-Gi-Oh! And like summon monsters and beat up the One Piece guy or whatever. Looked so cool. And then I went on the Switch and bought it when it was on discount. First of all, oh my god, sorry.
Don't make that mistake.
And I got it on the Switch and I opened it and it was the most ass that I've ever seen in my life. Like it was just pure shit.
Oof.
From like the menus to the gameplay to the story, everything was ass. So what I should have done is I should have gone on Steam, check it out, see what people are saying, because people like tear games to shreds in the comments, in the reviews.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, on the Switch it's a bit more difficult.
Same with on the Switch at least they have on the Xbox at least they have reviews as well, but I remember I was looking at Dark Souls. What was that? Maybe that was on the Switch. Anyway, I was looking to get a Dark Souls game, and the comment was something like, "Dark Souls, more like our souls. This game's utter dog's batch." So it's stuff like that helps when in purchasing decisions,
Yeah.
So I agree.
He just couldn't beat the first boss.
Yeah, it's too salty, that guy.
Yeah.
I think it was like a port or something.
On the Switch?
I think it was maybe on the Switch.
Could be the Dark Souls HD, whatever it is, remastered version.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, well, why do they do that? Like, honestly, not every game needs to be on every console.
It's all just comes down to product teams.
Yeah, sweet ka-ching.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, they've got to try and milk as much money out of every franchise as they can.
Yeah, But yeah, that was sort of the one of the topics that I wanted to discuss, and the other one, I have two today, was emulation. Actually, we already brought it up once.
Oh, right.
I think so. There's this. It's technically not illegal if you own the game to emulate it on your PC. So there's no law against that. But I don't know why all these studios are so butthurt about us trying to play games from 50 years ago, and why they're trying to shut down.
Especially Nintendo.
Yeah, Nintendo. Yeah. Why they're trying to shut down.
They get absolutely butt blasted.
Yeah.
You play you upload Super Mario Brothers 2 theme song onto your YouTube channel, and they copy strike you and delete your channel.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's why do they care so much? I mean, I get it's their intellectual property and blah blah blah, but wouldn't it be better for people to actually still keep those games alive and play them, rather than for them to just sit in a shoebox somewhere in some kid's basement?
It's free advertising.
Yeah, it's. I'm definitely pro emulation. I like some of the steps that a lot of companies are taking, especially Xbox. Well, I don't know if they have stopped allowing that, but they used to allow for you to run emulators on the Xbox in dev mode. And the Switch obviously has the Nintendo Online emulation thing going. I hate the way it's priced, but at least they have something. So if you want to play old games, you can. But then why limit it to only games that they select? Why not just open up, I don't know, an official emulator for N64 or whatever, and just have all the games there?
I feel like they're trying to do...
if they said the entire N64 library, you just have to subscribe, it would be worth it then. But no, it's just this curated list of games.
Yeah. Because we've only tested these 10 games.
Yeah.
And you're like...
Yeah.
These
because the emulator sucks so badly that we need to release it incrementally. How
many websites are there out there with the entire catalog of Nintendo all arranged and waiting for you to play? Literally in browser there's emulators and just a ton of open source projects as well.
But again though, it's to make money. It's so that they can release in stages and say, the same thing that what they do with Smash Bros. So every now and again they'll release a new character and everyone will get hyped because you can play as the plant from Super Mario or something, or the Cloud. It's the same type of thing. Even if the game's crap, it's nostalgic for so many people. Oh my god, I used to play, I don't know, some really crappy game from Nintendo back in the day, and it just means that it just keeps people engaged. Yeah, they added a Wii Fit character to Smash Bros.
Yep.
What? Yeah, Wii Fit trainer.
Yeah,
and that's how popular it was, I guess. They had a Wii Fit character.
Apparently, it was popular, and the first time I ever saw Wii was Dave's Wii in uni.
Oh yeah. Wii. Wii's massively popular, and Wii Fit I think was popular too. I remember at my last job they had a Wii Fit. One of the women brought in their Wii with Wii Fit, and we had played games on it. Wow. It's quite fun actually.
Did you destroy them all?
I think I won. Yeah, I think I beat them.
I think
beat this level.
I beat her.
I think I won against those noobs.
As soon as you saw the console enter the room and you're like, call HR because there's going to be a beating tonight. Yeah, we only had a PlayStation 4 at one of the studios I worked at. It was fun, but we were only allowed to play it after hours, obviously.
Yeah. Not during work.
Yeah, not during like I can't even remember if we could play it during lunch. Can't remember. But the lucky ones are the people that get to develop for like the HTC Vive or whatever, like VR headset.
Yeah.
Because they get to get all of the new tech, and like because they have to have it for development purposes, right?
You know, like consoles in the office. I think, in theory,
Nice.
they're a great idea, and it would be cool if you could like actually relax whilst you're at work and
Yeah.
spend some time gaming or whatever. But in reality, I've never had one in an office I've worked at. But in reality, imagine playing, I don't know, Smash Bros or something and screaming at the TV while your boss is just staring, watching you.
Yeah.
I don't know. Seems like a weird mixing two worlds that shouldn't be mixed almost.
I think so, yeah. I didn't play much with my colleagues. It was a bit... first of all, it's cringe because people have such different ability, like skill levels, I mean, in playing consoles. I suck as well, like with controllers. But like some people would be absolutely... unfamiliar with how to play like fighting games or whatever we're playing, and it'll be like ha 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 initially, but then when you have to sit through like 3 matches of 2 absolute noobs not knowing how to correctly orient their characters or like use the buttons, it gets cringe really fast.
It's like when you're watching someone that doesn't know how to play an RPG and the camera's like flying all over the place. You get nauseous watching them.
I think people seem to struggle with first person. I think my dad played a first person shooter and it was just like looking around like everywhere. It's like you have to kind of work out how the movement's supposed to work. Like looking around.
Controlling the 2 sticks.
Oh no! My God. Oh my God!
I could have hit that as well. Pain. They're just for the listeners. They're drawing 3-3 with 3 seconds left. So that was pretty rough.
It's not. I think we're only familiar with those things, like how to control characters properly, because we started out so young to play games. Like my wife, she loves playing games, but as soon as it's a 3D game with a 3D camera, she's like, I can't play. I get nauseous and don't understand the movements. Oh my God, we lost.
Oh my God.
Bad news.
Yep.
A loss. I think 2D games are a lot easier for people to understand. Like you can generally pick up and play a 2D game and not, whereas 3D is like confusing for a lot of people who aren't used to gaming.
It's like trying to explain an iPad to someone in the Middle Ages.
It's just they'll just burn you at the stake for being a witch.
And I think that's why Nintendo is so successful, because their games are, a lot of their old games are so accessible to the whole family, right? So they would sell tons of consoles like that. Like if I as a 5-year-old kid or whatever, and my dad as a 30-plus-year-old man could both play the same game and both understand how to play it, it speaks a lot about how good the game design was.
Nothing matches Wii Sports for some multiplayer with everyone.
But Wii Sports, the interaction is too weird. Like sometimes, you know how you can kind of cheat it and just flick your wrist instead of doing the actual movement and all that stuff. Whereas I remember playing Mario on, I think it was Super Nintendo, something like that, some old Nintendo console. And I was playing with my brother, and my grandmother walked in the room, and we like kind of egging her on to start, like, to have a go. And she just picked it up and started playing. Like she understood it completely. And our minds were blown. We were like, we thought you couldn't
Mario
even.
Lost Levels, was it?
Yeah, hardest game ever created. we just couldn't believe it. Our minds were literally blown. Like, she could pick this controller up she's never used before.
Yeah.
Understand the visuals she's never seen before, and interact with it. It was. I actually used to think as a kid that adults couldn't understand the visuals of games, and that was probably one of the. That was me thinking like boomers back in the day.
Yeah. One of the guys on the other team said, "My team is very bots."
Bots.
Just tell him to uninstall.
Yeah, yeah. I'll get reported by our listeners for bullying players.
Yeah, we can't flame people on this.
Yeah.
Flame
People?
Yeah.
Is this a cool kids term? Is this new?
Yeah. Yeah, if you're flaming someone, it means like harassing them or insulting them. Normally it's someone on your own team. It's like in League of Legends that like someone dies, you're like, stupid noob, why are you getting killed? Level 1, play safe, and shit like that, and you're like, stop flaming.
Why is it called flaming?
Because you light a fire under your ass?
Yeah.
Under their ass.
That makes sense, yeah.
The guy said GG bot. Another member of his team.
Say GG noobs.
Oof. Yeah, I'll try to type in a bit. For the listeners / viewers, my keyboard is under my desk, so I'm trying not to make clickety clackety sounds.
Clickety clack, break my back. Yeah, we get most of our cool kids terminology from Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fat Dave.
GG Easy is the worst one when you hear that.
Did you introduce yourself as Fat Dave?
GG Easy. Yeah, I did. in the intro bit, yeah.
GG Easy is old though, it's not a new thing.
Yeah, that is.
It still flames me when someone says that though.
You can't say it like that.
I'm so flamed right now.
Yeah. You gotta say you're salty.
Yeah.
Flame.
Salty?
Salty is quite old. There's a new one which is I guess that's not new either. I'm just old. Dead ass. Like
dead ass.
Yeah.
Dead ass.
Yeah, for something that's like for sure gonna happen. Or like they for example, they dead ass schooled us in this game.
Yeah, I know that, yeah.
Like they for sure yeah.
What was that term that Davis taught us? You remember recently? You know when you like troll someone. He was playing Rocket League with us, and when you're like so good, you like destroy someone, and he taught us a term for it.
Not sure.
Anyway, shout out Davis every episode.
Yeah, get well, Davis.
Yeah.
Davis is in quarantine now. Davis in Canada.
The Davis Files. Is episode number 7.
7, yeah. Thoughts and prayers. Get well soon.
Yes. We'll know if he's actually listened to this if he gets this far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knows all the cool kids. Cool kids speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he played League of Legends online with all the little kids.
Yeah.
Use all the terms they use.
You say all the little kids, but I've only ever seen fully grown men play League of Legends. Like, I don't know any kids at all that play League of Legends.
Somebody's. I want to say somebody's brother.
Maybe Ryan's or Davis's.
Davis's brother played League of Legends.
Oh, with you, and destroyed you.
Yeah, he flamed. He flamed. If I'm going to describe anyone as flaming, he was. He gets killed, and he's like, "Why are you not supporting me?
Yeah.
Why did you heal me?" What am I supposed to do?
Wow, Dave, you circled that ball like 3 times.
Yeah, I'm just like intimidating it.
So I think I might as well move on to my topic then.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess so.
My topic was a little more around the psychology, but why do we play games? Just in general, like why do we play video games? Yeah, I think
Spawn noobs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
great
good one.
people.
Exert our
flamed.
dominance.
Better than everyone.
Yeah. No, playing games is a natural thing, right? Like we grow up learning how to live our lives by playing games with others, pretending like we're role playing who we are when we're kids, and then playing sports games. And this is just a extension of that. Video games.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see that side. Like, I think there's from what I see, at least people of a similar age to me. I can't really speak for younger people, but like it's from what I can see, there's a huge need to one, like de-stress. So if you've worked all day or something.
Yeah.
Two is to kind of escape reality in a way where you don't need to think about, kind of like what we're doing now, right? You don't need to think about much and just mindlessly, mindlessly escape with the positive reinforcement loops. Just constant like gratification without putting much effort. So I think that's obviously a more, I guess, negative view of why we play games, but I do think I also think it's necessary to play games in some form, whether they're video games or whatever. But I was thinking about this, and think of the types of things that are in games, right? Like games have goals, they have social aspects, they have like there's a level of right on the button, there's a level of difficulty to them. And what else has those things? Like just general life.
Work.
Right? Yeah.
Work. It's not that exciting.
General life. So I was thinking like life is going to get a little meta, but life itself is a bit of a game.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
The whole
just a shit one.
The industry, whatever industry you're in, is all a game.
Yeah.
None of it is actually real. Like the way you climb the hierarchy at work, it's a game.
Yeah, true. It's like a leaderboard in a video game.
Yeah. How you get jobs is a game.
Yep.
Yeah. Gotta optimize your CV.
Yeah.
Min-max the right skills.
Yeah.
And
that's why
get a job.
That's why so many people play sim games, like The Sims, but also like company simulators. Like there's like a tech company simulator that I saw recently. There's like a YouTuber simulator.
Oh yeah.
There's a streamer simulator. Like there's a simulation game for everything.
Because you can live out like your fantasies or something.
Yeah. Or just do something that is in a safe, like you don't need to put yourself out there.
Yeah,
it's just a safe sandbox that you can experiment.
That was exactly something that I was thinking about, like this psychological benefits from things like going to the gym or socializing or hobbies or whatever. They can very easily be replaced by gaming. Yeah. And when it comes to like what I just mentioned about like goals and social interactions and stuff, all you need to do now, you don't need to, like, if you go into the gym or social events, if you get bored of that, you have to work really hard to find new things, like maybe a hobby or a sport, or find a different social event or whatever. In gaming, you just have to change the disc.
Yeah.
Like,
disc. You're using old man terms.
Disc. Don't even need to do that anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. I thought I was knocking it out of the way.
Yeah, so I'm turning into a bit of a boomer, but
take out the floppy disk, the cassette tape.
Yeah.
Kids these days, back in my day, they were out playing jump rope and hopscotch, and now they're playing Call of Duty.
You sound exactly like Jordan Peterson.
Minecraft. Oh, well.
It's accidental impersonation.
I say, Bucko, tidy your room.
Yeah.
Stop playing Minecraft.
One Jordan Peterson impression every episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I definitely think it's better to be addicted to games than to be addicted to drugs, for one. Or anything that's actually... Somewhat. Well, it depends how addicted you are actually to games, because some people just hold in their piss and shit until they die, which is also bad.
Yeah, some people get like brain hemorrhage because they haven't moved for like 15 hours.
Jeez.
So yeah, that's kind of bad.
Okay, so let's say like an unhealthy amount of gaming per day, like let's say 8 hours, is still better than being addicted to drugs or alcohol or whatever. And it still has a skills building element, like especially in those
and
League of Legends
community as well.
Yeah. You have community, you have...
But you will be interacting with people, you're not just sitting in a coke
but is it not
crack den or something.
Is it that, or is it like the illusion of that? Is there a difference?
I think it is that. It's not as complex as it is in real life. Like obviously you're just trying to, like if I'm playing with two randos, Rocket League with two randoms, I would communicate with them like how to get this ball in the goal, right? But it's not any less valid than if you're at work and trying to convince two of your colleagues that they should change course on a project or whatever. It's just a more simple problem, but you're still the skill of like team work and like communication is still there, I think. So you still build some skills while you're doing this, but like I'm not saying that everybody should game and just forget about real life. I'm just saying it's not as bad of a vice as a lot of people make it out to be, especially like boomers.
Yeah,
like, games are gonna make you dumb and make you want to kill people.
Yeah.
As if nobody killed any people before games were here.
Yeah. You see some of those like boomer comics where they're like, the kids are gonna kill everyone. Like kids are gonna become a school shooter because they played GTA or something.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not gonna happen. Unless you're like mentally deranged and can't differentiate reality from a video game.
Yeah.
In which case, you should probably be in a mental hospital.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Then maybe it was already fated though, like.
But that's I think that the overwhelming effect of gaming is positive versus negative. We obviously hear about the negative stuff a lot more.
Yeah.
But I have friends from childhood that have told me that most of their good friends that they still keep in touch to this day, they made like online. In some online game, like World of Warcraft or whatever. And oh my god, this guy sucks ass.
Yeah.
Should uninstall, dude.
Delete the game.
Yeah. And what was I saying? A lot of actual human connections can be made. I recently got really into watching game competition, like moments in history. Like there's one moment called Evo Moment 37, I think it was, and it's this American kid playing a Japanese kid in a tournament, Street Fighter tournament, and so this channel makes it like a documentary of that time and of that tournament, and explains like all the history before that, how they were rivals, and then shows you what happened. And what happened was one of the kids was using Chun-Li's special move, the one with the multiple kicks. And the other kid blocked every single kick. And it's like you need to be accurate to a millisecond to block those kicks, all of them.
Wow.
And then he defeated the guy by using his own special, like Ken's special or whatever, afterwards. So it's like this epic moment, and you could really see...
Yeah, I think I saw that.
Yeah, you could really see the kids there just blowing up, and it was great.
That's cool when like you get some epic gamer moment.
Yeah, the moments it can create, I think, are like magical that you'll remember forever.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's
I guess.
Yeah, and it's funny that you remember so much about gaming as a child now.
Yeah,
like we had video games, so maybe for people older than us, they don't have this same type of memory, but theirs was like climbing a tree or playing in some mud.
But I also did do those things. I don't necessarily view them as separate, to be honest. Maybe that's for another episode, but I think games in general, they can be real life, they can be video games, but they all sort of share the same value of why you should do them, especially when you're a kid, why you should engage with them.
But then that interface
just not too much
is completely different to, like, if you've only interfaced with people digitally through a game, then when you meet them in real life,
you're awkward.
All of a sudden it's way more difficult. And
it's like that Second Life or VR chat or something where you have your like an online persona. It'd be different. You're not an anime girl in real life, unfortunately.
That's why I'm so excited about AR, because you have all these kids now that are basically born with iPads in their hands, and I don't think it's good. Like, they honestly cannot do not play outside and just learn those skills of like interacting with real life people.
This is just bad parenting.
There needs to be a balance.
And if we have AR, that's why I really loved Pokemon Go as a game. I think one of the more revolutionary games out there. It's because it got kids and their parents and like all generations out and about, just walking, exploring the real world, and also playing a game. So with AR, I can only imagine how many like memorable experiences people are gonna develop. Where you both play a game but also explore the world around you, maybe with friends or with family. It's gonna be great as soon as they have non-ridiculous looking glasses to wear or whatever other
lenses.
I
remember when Pokemon Go came out, we were all at uni. Just for context,
Oh my god, I thought it came out later.
Oh no, I think it was just after I think we finished uni.
No, it wasn't. We were all at uni because I remember going around the some of the fields.
Really?
And there was loads of groups of people out which you'd never see.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that.
And it was fascinating just to see like bunches of people outside again.
It's a Charmander, follow me.
Yeah.
And people like I don't remember it being...
There's a Squirtle in the ocean.
Yeah.
And they swim out.
I don't remember it being in uni, but that being said, I didn't play anything in uni other than FIFA with Ollie, and because I was really against playing any games while I was studying, because I knew that like it's a slippery slope. And I didn't want to distract from my studies because I was paying hella money to be there. So I know you guys hated on me a lot for that.
No, we had some good FIFA sessions. Eating Dave's nachos.
Trying to get him to not be fat, slim up a bit.
Yeah. If you haven't seen me, I'm morbidly obese.
Yeah. By the sound of his voice, you can tell he's huge.
Huge.
Body positivity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but Pokemon Go is great. Dave, I saw you're playing a similar game now recently when we went out.
Pikmin.
Yeah, Pikmin.
That's the same company, but it's a Pikmin game instead.
Right. Yeah.
So it's still made by Niantic, who made Pokemon Go. And you walk around with your Pikmin and grow them and send them on expeditions and stuff. It's a bit more passive than Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
You don't like actively catch things. You just have a walk, and then when you get back, you see what you've discovered.
Yeah. Have you guys heard of?
It's just to encourage you to walk.
Yeah. Have you heard of geocaching?
I've heard of it. Yeah, I can't remember what it is though.
It's a game where it's a really B-Tech version of Pokemon Go or whatever, those types of games, where you have real world caches, as they call them, that people hide in certain like picturesque locations or locations with historical value.
Okay.
And you basically get an app and you can see locations of those caches and you can go out to find them in the physical world. And what it is just like usually just like a little note, like a rolled up note or something with people's names on it that have found it. And sometimes you would get like interesting stuff, like if it's an historical location, maybe somebody would have left, I don't know, like their great grandfather's Nazi era pistol or whatever in the box with the geocache.
Yeah, I've heard of this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So some guy was leaving USB sticks around.
Yeah, USB sticks. Yeah, sus. Definitely. But I think it's great, like gamifying going outside and doing some exercise. I'm all for that, because I'm terrified for when I have kids and I need to teach them to go outside, and they'll be like, "Why, Papa? I have my iPad 360 Series D here with me with all my favorite games and friends."
You have to take his headset off him first, and
yeah.
Then he loses all his
his renal and
shitcoin
anal tubes out of him, so from his gaming chair. Yeah,
his drip.
It's honestly his drip. Yeah, it's honestly terrifying. Nowadays, like even my cousins' kids come up to me and they're like, "Got any games on your phone?" While we're like at a family gathering or something, and it's not good.
Yeah, it's interesting where the world's going.
Yeah, could be worse, but I think there is some valid criticisms of gaming, and especially there's some really disturbed games like that Slenderman shit that Dave, you were playing in uni, or some...
Oh yeah, I remember that. Horror games are another. Yeah, Happy Wheels. He plays an old man and drive him into some spikes or something.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun. That's a classic game. Happy Wheels.
Yeah, I was gonna say geocaching sounds like step 2 in the it's like step 2 of the Apple Watch, where you kind of you've gamified going outside again. And
I think it's older, like much older. I think people used to do it with Web.1. Like just have a website with all the geocaches and shit, and people would trying to find them with actual real world maps or whatever.
I've seen things like that actually, like geocaches where people have left things like notes and stuff and said, "Oh, if you find this note,
kill yourself now." Okay.
Pass it on to someone else.
Usually positive.
You have been cursed.
Yeah, you will die in 7 days.
It's like the modern day pirates.
Yeah.
Pirate map.
I think smart devices, as in wearables, are not used enough for these things. They should make a whole bunch of more games with like Apple Watches or Android Watches or what's the one you have, Ollie?
The Fitbit.
Yeah, the Fitbit. Like, they should make stuff for that. It gamifies exercise and going out.
Yeah, the problem is that the interface is so small. Like when it is on your eye, as in like a glass or a lens or whatever, or a hologram, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But when the form is just larger, I think that's when it will be a lot more interesting for people. Because right now, if I look at this tiny black and white Fitbit screen, and somebody's got like some crappy Tamagotchi Pokemon like bouncing around on it, it's not really gonna hype me to go outside or whatever. But if it was like, have you seen Free Guy with
Ryan
Reynolds?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not to that extent, but something where you've got things floating around, you know, a lot more visual. I think that would get people outside and running and jumping.
I remember with Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver on the DS, you got a little pedometer thing, and you could put your Pokemon on it and walk with it. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, you could also do that in Pokemon Go on the Apple Watch, but they removed it because they didn't have enough users using it. They stopped supporting it, which is sad. Like, like imagine maybe it doesn't even need to be a game like on the Fitbit. It could just be like a peripheral device. Like if you're playing Pokemon Go and like your Fitbit vibrates every time you're near a Charmander or whatever, or Charizard. Like something to make it more like not just a wristband, you know, that you look at occasionally.
Yeah,
or a watch.
More interactive.
Yeah, more interactive.
You know, yeah, go on.
I was gonna say about the AR glasses. Have you guys seen that Super Mario AR thing that somebody made? Where they play as so you play as Super Mario, and you can see in 3D the map, like the Super Mario map, moving towards you. So you don't actually run; the map comes toward you. So all the like jumps and stuff and mushrooms, they are coming towards you, and you just need to like jump at the right time. And you can like if you have a mushroom, like the whole map becomes smaller because you're bigger. Stuff like that, I think is pretty cool. And when we have a usable AR headset, it's gonna be wild what people are gonna come up with.
It sounds like Beat Saber or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But instead of having a virtual space, it's like you're in the park and a bunch of cubes start floating towards you.
Pretty cool.
You know, one of the coolest implementations of something like this that I've heard of. Well, no, one of the coolest ideas, but the implementation wasn't that great. Was I think from FIFA, where they made some boots that had some device in it, where in FIFA you can create your own character, and in order to level them up, you could buy these boots and you run a certain amount, kick a certain amount, and it would increase your stats of your character in game.
That's cool.
Which I thought was really cool, because grinding in FIFA to get like decent characters, like hell. But going outside and playing football to do it sounds like a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool actually.
Yeah.
Why was the implementation bad?
I've just never heard of anyone actually doing it. So I read an article about it, but I've never something like that you'd think would just take off, but I'm guessing that it just wasn't good enough.
Probably have to spend £500 on the boots.
Yeah, if it costs a lot, I can see it not being viable. Oh my god!
Yeah. Oh my days! I saw that miss.
Oh my god! I'm gonna change my car next game because I can't get used to the bounding box of this one.
Okay, my big fat one.
Not even that van. I like the one that I had before with the really fat ass and like narrow front, because I usually like hit the ball with a double jump and with my fat ass, you know. I like
my god.
No, you don't need to. I'll just do it next podcast.
Oh, you got a preset.
Yeah, I've got a preset.
Okay. Oh my days.
Getting destroyed. But Dave, anyway, since it was your theme, and we know how much of a gamer you are, was there any other? Because for people that don't know Dave, he's actually pretty knowledgeable when it comes to like classic games, and he could name bugs that are in games from like Super Nintendo era.
I have an example of Dave's genius when it comes to games. The other day, we paid a visit to Dave and Ollie, and my wife was playing my Funky S, which is like a little console keychain thing, retro console, and she was playing one of the Zelda games, and she asked the question, and Dave, like where she needs to go, and Dave knew where she has to go in the game without even looking. I was like, what?
Yeah. She just said, "Oh, I'm playing this game.
Yeah.
And I need to go here." Okay. I knew where it was.
Yeah.
He did the exact same when I was playing Pokemon Emerald, which I haven't played. I've never played before, and I played the previous version of it on Game Boy Advance. Not Emerald, the one before. And he knew every route that I had to go down, and where certain Pokemon could be caught in each of those routes, just off the top of his head.
That's true, yeah.
Wild.
Yeah, I memorized stuff like that, but anything actually useful, just completely in one ear, out the other. So
you can be a gaming historian. That's an actual job. Yeah. Like when you watch documentaries and they show some like.
That's true. Actually, there are like archiving software. Like there are people that study. Like Super Mario 64 is quite a significant one for studies. I think I was explaining the other day about parallel universes in Super Mario 64. How every level, if you were to go out of that level, like outside where you can actually physically get, there's another, like the hitbox, the collision box of the level is repeated like infinitely. So using an infinite acceleration glitch, because Mario's negative acceleration when he's walking in waist-high water is actually infinite. So if he's walking backwards, he can move fast enough to move to one of these parallel universes, which allows him to move around the level without jumping. So that's an interesting fact.
Jeez.
Just sounded really... Anyone listening is going to be like, what the... And anyone who actually knows what I'm talking about is going to be like, oh yeah, I know that.
Yeah. Do you watch speedruns?
I have watched bits of speedruns, but it's a little bit... Sometimes that's a little bit too cringy. But some of them are interesting, when they use glitches and stuff.
Exactly.
Zelda Ocarina of Time, there's a glitch that I think in the first boss room, it takes you to the final area if you do a certain thing, and you can complete the game in like 15 minutes. That's pretty interesting.
Some of the ones that they do with it's almost like a review of a speedrun with the game developers, and the speedrun guy would explain, or girl would explain, how they did it, and like the glitches. Like there was one for Portal 2 where if you did like a specific move in the corner of a room, because the bounding box, like the triangle, like intersects in a weird way with your bounding box, and you could like just transport yourselves to other rooms, and it was just really interesting to see how these people exploit really weird, obscure, I wouldn't even say bugs, just attributes of the engine of the game.
I remember glitch with speedrunning. I remember Zelda Majora's Mask, not Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess had quite a few glitches. There was one if you start the fast travel but press the map button or something at the same time, it tries to start the fast travel, but then it opens the map, so it kind of cancels out of it. But it still thinks you're in the fast travel, so it won't load any other areas. So you can kind of walk through a loading zone and keep going, and then it'll let you go out of bounds and walk around in the out of bounds area, and that lets you like get to areas you shouldn't be able to at that point in the game and stuff. So yeah, stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
I wonder if people get in trouble, like if some game developer's boss sees like a speed run with like a weird ass bug like that and goes back to the office and he's like, Jeremy, you're fucked up for the last time.
Yeah. Well, I think the right attitude with I think it was again Zelda, the newest Zelda. Breath of the Wild. Almost forgot his name. They said that any glitch they find, as long as it doesn't impair the gameplay, to leave it in.
Right.
I think that was their idea. So you know how you can.
So they don't.
You
waste
might have seen
time.
videos where they like use the magnet pull thing to pull Link into the sky and then send him flying across the map to Hyrule Castle in like like 5 minutes of starting the game. They probably knew about that, but they just left it in because it didn't affect the gameplay, and most people probably wouldn't even
saves
find
time,
it,
saves money.
Yeah, and
Do you reckon some of these are left in and then called Easter eggs?
yeah, I think GTA had left in glitches and stuff like that sometimes too.
Yeah, and
on
they actually actively support modding, which is great. Like they open up the game for users to mod. I think it's pretty cool.
Same with the Fallout, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Fallout, like all Skyrim and stuff like that. The mods in that, there's some crazy mods available, so they're quite supportive of it.
Yeah.
Apart from that time they tried to start charging for mods, and then very quickly went back on it.
Yeah. Yeah, often the mods look better than the actual game. There was a hyper-realistic GTA 5 mod that looked so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Red Dead Redemption ones as well. Some of them look
Red Dead already looks good enough. Like Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
That's probably the best graphics I've seen in the game.
Ooh, nice.
I think Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, it's pretty. They're actually like Rockstar San Diego are actually the guys that develop the engine for the Rockstar games, and so they would know how to make best use of it, I guess.
Oh
some sick ass graphics.
Yeah, it's a fair point.
Yeah, and the physics and effects and everything. Yeah, like it's really good. Best game engine, I suppose.
Man,
now we've got
Rockstar.
GTA 6 coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah. In,
honestly, they're killing it.
2050.
They're killing it though. Like GTA 5, I didn't play it. So it came out in 2013, some shit like that. I didn't play it until this year. Still holds up. Has a ton of like. Doesn't only hold up. I would go as far as to say, like, I'm not that much of a fan of GTA, but it's probably the best game. Like in terms of how many things you can do with it in it that are fun.
It might be the best game I've ever played.
Yeah, because the story is engaging, the mechanics are engaging. It is just a masterpiece. Like even though I'm not that big of a fanboy, I can see that it's probably the best game, and they've been killing it since GTA 3. Rockstar, pretty much every game they make.
It's because
apart from the GTA remastered trilogy.
Oh yeah,
that was
such a stupid cash grab. Like why couldn't they just chill and work on GTA 6?
To be fair, all these cash grabs, like all of the DLC for GTA 5 and then those remasters, hopefully all that money's now going into GTA 6 instead of like to shareholders or whatever.
It might actually have been why they did it. Might have actually be onto something.
I think so, yeah.
Because I mean, if it has like the amount of time that they've milked GTA 5 for, GTA 6 has got to be again, hopefully another masterpiece.
Yeah.
And
let's hope so. I've heard that it's had quite a messy. They said the worst or the most like chaotic development of any GTA game though, from some leaker or insider or something said that. But some of the other leaks look good.
probably
I saw
very
it leaked,
ambitious.
a potential leaked map for GTA 6 as well.
Was that the one in Mexico?
Yeah, it was like South America or something, and it had 2 islands that were quite far apart.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna do Vice City again, because they did Liberty City remastered in GTA 4. And then they did San Andreas State, GTA 5. And yeah, so Vice City is the only one that's sort of left without having a modern day game made for it. And Vice City was fun. It was so cool.
The map doesn't even matter that much. Like the size of the map does, I think.
Yeah.
But it's just like how you can interact with it. That's kind of the key.
Where could they even take
GTA,
it? I mean, GTA 5 is already pretty like, there's the whole package almost.
They could just do the same thing again. That'd be good.
No,
I thought they would.
It wouldn't work.
New story and new characters, and that's it.
I don't think it would work. I think it's got to be more immersive. Like, you know how for example, you can't walk into every building, or you can't like interact with every person, or like breakable buildings or whatever. Like stuff like that would be really cool.
Yeah, destructive environment is
destructive. Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Be some next level technology there, and they can do that. But in terms of something actually running it is quite difficult.
Well, they can now with you saw the showcase for PS5, right? With Unreal Engine.
Unreal Engine. Yeah, it's insane. But they have their own engine, so I'm sure it would also look great.
Yeah.
But I think nice.
Oof.
I think they would do something. They would outdo themselves probably. Like their whole culture at their company seems to be not to do anything mediocre or like to a subpar standard. So
yeah, I think so. Yeah, they're very, very like everything has to be perfect.
Yeah.
There's quite a good drama actually about Rockstar actually, and you could, it was played by like the boss was played by Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah.
Harry Potter.
I saw that shit.
And
it's pretty cool.
The kind of attitude, everything has to be completely perfect. Everything has to work exactly, in the right way.
Yeah.
And be interactive. Yeah, you can see that passion for making things like that. I don't think any other game studio takes things to that level as Rockstar does.
I don't know about the culture, but in terms of what they can offer from the game, but I think it has to be even more of a life sim.
Yeah.
Like I think that's where people want GTA to go eventually. I think it's just like replace reality. Like they just want to be able to put on a headset or whatever, and then
GTA Metaverse. Go and shoot your neighbours in GTA.
But you can see that's where it would go, right? Like be able to do everything though, like get a job or whatever, go watch a football game. Or I think being able to do that with your friends. GTA is one of the only companies that could pull that off, I think, as well.
Rockstar,
Rockstar,
with their budget and everything. I think so.
I'm pretty hyped for DokeV, the Korean Pokemon killer.
Oh yeah, that does look cool. Yeah,
that looks like it's gonna be such a good time with like friends. Yeah, and they said they're actively working towards making it a metaverse game so that you can do pretty much. I mean, it's kind of cringe that companies now are so focused on this, but they're working on making it so you could do as many things as you want in there, and like have like their version of NFTs or whatever, and collectible creatures and stuff like that. So it's gonna be such a cool game. That's on my hype list. And the new Batman game, Gotham Knights, where you don't play as Batman, that looks sick.
When does that come out?
this year at some point, and it's gonna be multiplayer as well, so you can play with your friends and beat criminals to a pulp for trying to provide for their families.
What about the DokeV game?
It's also coming out supposedly this year. It's been in development for quite a while. It looks fantastic. Just the battling mechanics and the visuals. The world, it's like this Korean island that's super picturesque.
Cool.
Yeah, it does look really cool, that. I definitely want to try it.
I hope they make it paid though. Like this game was, so we don't get like, too many people playing the game and like have it full with trolls and kids. Like there should be some barrier for entry, I feel like. Anyway, shall we end it here, or you guys?
Yeah, I think we can wrap it up now.
Let's end it there.
All right, Dave, take it away with your.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. That was our video game episode. There'll probably be other ones in the future. But,
like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Find us on Twitter at SpaceStal as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Twitter,
Space
Facebook.
STAL.
We're doing it all.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, thanks for listening, and see you in the next one.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye.